Hey everyone, today I'm just going to show you how to actually build my 240,000 Crimson and Warped Fungus / Roots farm. And well, this is something that I showed you a while back already. I showed you this in the Nether update betas, and well, it was still in beta back then, but now the Nether update is in full release and I can show you how to build this. This beauty of a farm is nearly maxed out, and those high rates are of course achieved with the bone meal. And well, I say Crimson and Warped because you can swap out the Crimson nylium with Warped nylium if you want. Because the roots and the fungus that appears actually spreads to the other type of nylium. So if you would bone meal a piece of Crimson nylium and there is Warped nylium around it, then the fungus would even spread to the Warped nylium. So we can have one stripe of Crimson and one stripe of Warped, and it will still work and you will get mixed output. Alright, so let me explain you how this farm works. Basically, the toggle for this farm is right here. This is the lever that will turn this entire farm on or off. And the way this is controlled is by this ether hopper clock. And this gives basically long cycles, and there will be about 26.7 of those cycles per hour. And during each cycle, basically the floor will get shifted back and forth. It will get bone meal constantly, of course only when it gets moved. And once this cycle is done, what will happen then is that the dispensers back here will waterlog the leaves. This is just to prevent water sources from forming, and all of the drops will get flushed into this water stream. From there, it's basically your job to find out what storage you're going to have, because it's going to be a whole lot of stuff. So yeah, this farm outputs more than is reasonable, but well, it's cool, so yeah, so much for that. A cycle doesn't have to finish if you do indeed want to turn the farm off. So you can just flick this lever and the farm will turn off and you will get your drops instantly. So they will get flushed into the water stream, of course. And then it's pretty much off. You can just leave it off like this and nothing will happen. This timer will continue going on, but well, that's not really a problem because the farm is turned off. So you're probably wondering what items you will get depending on the type of floor that you have installed in this farm. And don't worry, I got the numbers. So for every cycle, remember there's about 26.7 cycles. I have the amount of items you get in stacks. And well, you can just multiply it if you want and you will get the proper amount. And keep in mind that one double chest is 54 stacks. So if you want to know how many double chests you will get per hour, then just divide by 54. So if you only have a Crimson nylium floor as seen here, you will get 122 stacks of Crimson roots per hour. This is more than 2 double chests. You'll get absolutely 0 warped roots. However, you'll get about 13 stacks of Crimson fungus and about 3 stacks of warped fungus. If you have a Warped nylium floor as seen here, you will surprisingly only get 67 stacks of warped roots, and that is actually less than you get Crimson roots when you have a Crimson floor. So when you have a Crimson floor, you get 122 stacks of Crimson roots, and I will explain later why that is. You also get 13 stacks of warped fungus and you get 3 stacks of Crimson fungus. So it matches the numbers as seen before, it's just swapped around. And of course you get 0 stacks of Crimson roots. And if you have a half warped and half Crimson floor as seen here, so it's just 1 stripe Crimson and 1 stripe warped, you will get both types of course of everything. And you will get 62 stacks of Crimson roots, as seen here. You'll get 20 stacks of warped roots, and you will get 8 stacks of Crimson fungus and 8 stacks of warped fungus. So no matter which floor you are using, you will always get the same amount of fungus in total, just the distribution will be different. As for roots, the total amount of roots will not be the same for every floor, and this is because of a weird balance problem, and that is that you get more Crimson roots from bone mealing Crimson nylium than you get warped roots from bone mealing warped nylium. My theory as to why that is that you got nether sprouts in previous 1.16 betas, but they have since removed it. I don't believe you get nether sprouts from bone mealing warped nylium in Java Edition, so yeah, that is probably why they removed it. But what you need to know is that I think when it was still there, the amount of nether sprouts and warp roots when added up were equal to the amount of crimson roots you get when you bone meal crimson nylium. And yeah, so they basically just removed it, but I don't think they adjusted the balance for the warped roots. And so there is a balance problem between the crimson and the warped roots. But anyways, I think that is enough info on how to use the farm and what is to be regarded when you want to adjust your drop rates. So let's just get into how to build it. We can take a look at the materials list here. So as always, we have some solid blocks, can be any solid block, and some glass in the list. And I just have some arbitrary amount. It can be more than that, it can be less than that. Just grab some glass and grab some solid blocks. Then we have some terracotta. It's glazed terracotta, of course, can be any color. And you can also replace it with obsidian if that's more convenient for you. Then we have slime and honey blocks. You can swap them, so you can have 8 honey blocks and 6 slime blocks, but I just have this way because usually slime is more easily obtainable. Leaves can be any type, of course. Packed ice doesn't have to be 17, but it's just the length that I have shown here. Then just because it may be hard to see, those are 2 droppers and 1 dispenser. Then we just have 8 water buckets. You're going to use 2 of those first to make an infinite water source, so you can place those 2 water sources. And then those 8 buckets just go into the dispensers in order to toggle the flushing system. And of course I forgot to add it, but it's the nylium. You will have 56 nylium. It can be either crimson or warped nylium, or you can split it up and have 28 crimson nylium and 28 warped nylium. But either way, it's going to be 56 nylium in total. Alright, let's build this then. You're going to want to chunk align it because of various problems when you push things across chunk borders. And if you don't know how to find chunk borders or chunks, there's a video that I did linked in the description that will be working on all platforms. Alright, we're just going to start off with our mini item elevator, and this is going to be 2 droppers facing up, and then we have our dispenser facing up. What we can do then is have a observer facing straight down, and we're going to get 1 solid block, place it right here, and 1 redstone dust. Next up, let's just get our hoppers. We have hoppers aligned like this, and then a double chest on top like this, and this is so that we can deliver the bone meal at double hopper speed, so basically 1 bone meal every 4 game ticks, and this is basically how fast the floor will move back and forth, and that way we can have it bone mealed every time. Alright, next up we just want to build the floor, and what we're going to do is have 1 stripe that is 7 long, centered on this dispenser of course, and so we're just going to have 1 block right here, then 3 blocks out right here, and 3 blocks out like this. Then what you're going to want to do is extend this side by 4 blocks and this side by 3 blocks. So if you're doing the stripe pattern, you're going to do it like this, so that will be 3, and on the other side like this. That will be 4. Alright, now we can place our pushers. So we're just going to have solid blocks lining the outer edges of this little nylium platform. And then we're going to have slime and honey alternating just like this. This is going to allow us to push the platform back and forth at a rate of 4 game ticks. Well, once every 4 game ticks without push limit interfering. And what we're going to do then is go out some blocks on the left side when you're facing the front, which is the chest side of course, and you're going to have the pistons placed with a gap like this. Those are going to be extended later when the farm is off. And on the other side we're going to have them right next to the slime and honey, just like this. Alright, now facing the front again, on the left side we're going to have 3 glazed terracotta like this, and on the right side 2, so it should look like this. Next, on the back side of the farm, we're going to have our dispensers facing up, just like this. Those are going to, of course, dispense water to flush all the drops. Next, place your leaves just like this on top of the dispensers, and we can place the observers facing down on the side of the leaves like this. Then you can just take your pod rails and place them in line on top of the observers. Now let's just place the solid blocks underneath where the observers are facing. That way when the observers detect the rail change, they will basically just power the dispenser, and that will in turn flush the entire thing. Now what you want to do is place your last glazed terracotta, and you want to put it right here. So that would be 1 block in front of where the right side honey and slime are going to push. Now we're just going to have some glass blocks right on top of the leaves, and we want to fill in this platform like this so that none of the drops fly where you wouldn't want them to. And we're also going to build some stuff on top of that. Let's get some salt blocks, and we're going to place one salt block on the second to right rail, so just like this, and then we're going to expand it to make it a 2x4 rectangle. Place some redstone dust in those spots respectively. Then we're just going to place some comparators, which is going to be our pulse extender. We're just going to have one temporary block right here, sticky piston, and a block just like this. Next, we're just going to make our collection water stream so that we can put the buckets in the dispensers. So what you want to do is place one temporary block right here, go one block down, you can place a salt block right here, and you want to go out by 17, so the entire thing. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Then you just have, well, stained glass or any glass just along the line like this. Place some water right at the end. And right here there should be a button. And then a water source. Make sure to not use a pressure plate because there's a bug with pressure plates in 1.16 at the moment. Alright, hopefully you made an infinite water source and you refilled your buckets, so you have 8 buckets in total. And we are just going to put one water bucket in each of the dispensers. And now that we have them in there, we can just make our toggle for the farm. So we are just going to have one salt block right here and flick the lever, and as you can see, all of the water will flush out. And that's perfectly fine, that's perfectly normal. Let's just build the main clock for the floor, pushing back and forth. We're just going to have 2 salt blocks like this, one torch on that side, one repeater, and one redstone dust. And what we're going to have then is another redstone dust, one repeater on one tick, very important, and then you just have redstone dust going on top of these pistons. On the other side, we're going to hook up this redstone torch to the other sticky pistons, and for that we just have some redstone dust going all across like this, and this is exactly how it should be. Now let's just make our timing circuit. So we're going to have one salt block right here and a repeater on 4 ticks. Make sure that you don't accidentally adjust the timing of this repeater while placing this block and stuff. And what you're going to do next is place a temporary block, place an observer like this. And what we're going to do then is have 2 hoppers facing into each other just like this. This is going to be the ether hopper clock. And what we are going to build then is, well, you guessed it, the ether hopper clock. So we have 1 piston, 2 pistons, 2 salt blocks, redstone dust on each salt block, and a comparator reading from each hopper on each piston. Now just place a redstone block under either of the hoppers. Now get yourself 5 stacks of 64 items. It can be any item really that stacks to 64. It can be trash items, whatnot. Netherrack is pretty worthless, so we're going to use that. And put them in the locked hopper. The locked hopper should be the hopper below which the redstone block is. And well, that's actually pretty much the farm. So let's just flick this lever off. And we can get some bone meal that we're going to fill in below. Right now it's in the cooldown phase, and yep, it's going. So let's just place some bone meal below, and it will start farming. So yeah, it's working, and eventually when the cycle finishes, all of the water will flush the drops into the water stream. Alright, so let's just turn this off, and I'm going to explain some few more things. So you probably don't have any use for the crimson and warped roots besides for decoration, but you're going to get so many that you will have a surplus most likely. And well, something you can do with them is put them in a composter, and that way you can get some bone meal back for the bone meal that you used on this farm. I don't know if you get enough crimson or warped roots to make this farm self-sufficient. I would say no, but maybe it's the case. I don't really think so. So, well, yeah, you will have to test yourself if you want to find that out. And then you're probably also wondering, what is the crimson and warped fungus even used for? Well, it's quite simple. You can grow huge trees with them. I think they're just called huge fungus, so that's not a very creative name, but yeah, I guess you can sort of farm them. Maybe I'll make a video on it in the future, but well, that's probably the main use for these warped and crimson fungus. Outside of that, they're also nice decoration. You can place them just like this. And something else you should know is that the warped fungus will actually scare hoglins. So hoglins will run away from the warped fungus. And well, that is another use for this. Alright, I hope you found this cool. Not exactly the most useful thing, but I had this built up for a long time already now, and I just felt like making a tutorial on it. And well, if I made something, might as well share the knowledge of how to build it to people, right? But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and maybe this is useful for you. And yeah, anyways, I would like to thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe because I have much more content like this on my channel. And well, I guess I'll see you around. Bye!